This conference will now be recorded.
9.
Okay, very good. 9. That means there is no confusion regarding Stanamula. Stanamula means there are 2 in number. How can that we should locate 2 in number means if you take a central axis, central means median plane. Now you can understand the word median plane. If you see the median plane on both side of the median plane, that means on right side one Stanamula and left side one Stanamula. Okay. On that sense, we should consider total 9 marmas are present over the chest region. So important locations yesterday we have discussed a location like the base of the lung. The one important location is the breast here. So as a external, as a surface landmarks, they have taken as a breast to locate the marmas. One is Salamola and Salarohita, and one more I have told the one close to the axilla, that is Amsakuta, that is cervicoaxillary canal, and one more is at the level of sternal angle, and one is the Hridaya Marma. It is present between the sthana. So the whatever that we have discussed yesterday, these are the brief point regarding the marmas over the chest region. Now, total Uraha and Udaragata both together. Ura means here chest region and Udara means abdomen. We should consider as abdomen. Now, what is the today's topic? Anyone? Have you gone through unitized syllabus properly?
Abdomen
Please
marma.
reply fast. Have you gone through the unitized syllabus?
Udara marma, sir.
Okay. Now we are discussing about today's class is the marmas which are present over the abdomen. So yesterday that we have completed the chest marma. Now just follow the screen. These are all these things are over. Just to remind, follow the screen. Now the here classification upper limb marma, the trunk including chest and abdomen 12. In that 12 already 9 we have completed, and only remaining 3 marmas are related with the abdomen. That is the abdomen means udara. Understand these words. Uraha is the chest, udara is abdomen, and back we pass. And head and neck means shiro urdhvagata marmas. The marmas which are present above the upper portion of the chest, that is including the neck and head. Okay. And next classifications over, and Shakagata, that already it is Udara and Uragata, and last previous class also have told the marmas which are present over the trunk, that is the including chest and abdomen. Most of them are Sadhyo Pranahara marma. Because why Sadhyo Pranahara marma? Because all finally they are injuring the cavity here, cavity including thoracic cavity as well as abdominal cavity and pelvic cavity. So cavities are usually lined by membrane. Already you know this, and yesterday that we have discussed the two important membrane coverings. Then one is the pleura and another one is the pericardium. So same way here in the abdominal part, later I will the brief about some anatomical parts about the abdomen, and later we'll discuss the only 3 marma. 3 means only we have today only Guda, Basti and Nabi, 3 marmas are there related with the abdominal cavity. Okay. Now Sadhya Pranahara marma, the again we consider as Sadhya Pranahara marmas. That is the marmas which are present in the abdominal region. Okay. And next, this is a classification over, and yesterday that I have told about that we have discussed about the marma and that how to write and locations. These are a few important landmarks over the abdomen. Here you can see the area covered by rib cage. The upper 6 ribs are related with only the chest part, and lower 6 ribs are in related with the abdominal part. Please remember, later I will discuss the abdomen and other part. So this is just highlighting the points now, and now we'll start with the Guda marma. So before going to the Guda marma, already the few parts that we have dissected over the abdomen. Okay, already we have dissected abdominal muscles. Is it clear? Have you seen the abdominal muscles during the dissection? Student must reply whether yes or no. Hello? Hello? Have you seen the this abdominal muscles during the
Yes, sir.
dissection? Only one said yes, sir. The remaining, what about the remaining students?
Sir.
Whether they are sleeping or what they are saying, some other activities, they are involved in some other activities or what?
No, sir.
Okay, say once again, say everyone, Marma, Jor say.
Marma.
Okay, that means everyone is alive now. Are you interested?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Now just follow the screen and before going to the Guda Marma or any Guda Nabi and Basti, only total three. I'll just highlight about the abdominal cavity. So it's extension of the abdominal cavity and which are the bones forming the abdominal cavity, which are the muscles and important blood vessels and nerve plexus and organs and membrane. Like that, yesterday we have discussed in the same way in the thoracic part. And today I am going to highlight the brief about the abdominal cavity, and later onwards I will deal with the concerned marma. So, which are now you have to reply which are the bones forms the abdominal cavity, which are the bones forming the boundaries of the abdominal cavity. Now student must reply properly. Now you should give answer which are the bones forming the boundaries of the abdominal cavity.
Vertebral column.
Very good. Vertebral column. Only vertebral column. There is no other bones. There are no other bones.
Lower
Pelvic girdle.
thoracic cage.
Okay. Anyone? Right.
Lower part of thoracic cage.
What is that?
Lower six ribs of thoracic cage.
Very good. First thing is lower six ribs of the thoracic cage are concerned with the abdominal cavity, and one girl said that vertebrae. Okay, vertebrae here, lumbar vertebrae. Along with the lumbar vertebrae, any other bones?
Hip bone.
Very good. Hip bones. Then on posteriorly sacrum. So this is what the bony landmark area. So where abdominal cavity is going to present. Now, which are the muscles? Which are the muscles? Important muscles. See, I'm not talking about all the muscles here. Only just name the muscles because already we have dissected already we have removed the muscles here. Already, if you see the dissection point of view, there are number of layers over the abdominal part. Once if you remove the skin, then immediately you will get the fatty layer. Then once if you remove the fatty layer, then you will get the membranous layer. Then so on. Then comes about the muscular layer, that is the muscles, abdominal muscles. Then when you cut open the abdominal muscles, then you will be reaching the fascia. This is the transverse fascia. Then very thin layer. Then next to that we will be getting the peritoneum. The peritoneum which covers the abdominal cavity. Again, it is having the two layers. One is the parietal peritoneum which lines the abdominal cavity, and visceral peritoneum is the which covers the outer surface of the organs. So it is a most complicated structure, peritoneum. And even though that we study the peritoneum in terms of different headings, in terms of what? Different headings. So before going to this peritoneum, please just name the muscles of the abdomen. Because now what we are dealing with the abdominal muscles and how the abdominal cavity is divided, later I will tell. Now just because of this dissected part I am asking, just name the abdominal muscles.
External oblique.
External oblique, very
Internal
good.
oblique.
Internal
Internal
oblique.
oblique, very
Rectus
nice.
abdominis. Transverse abdominis.
Transverse abdominis, and pyramidalis. There is one more small muscle. Usually in 90% of the cases it is absent. So small muscle, but has the big muscles are rectus abdominis. So these muscles usually the seen over the abdomen on the front side, there is an anterior and lateral side. If you go back side, called as posterior abdominal wall, these muscles are anterior abdominal wall muscles. And if you see the posterior abdominal wall muscles are psoas major muscles, then iliacus and quadratus lumborum muscles. So this is what the whole abdomen is surrounded by these muscles. So these are the muscular boundaries. Already that we have discussed, the boundaries by bones are lower six ribs, hip bone, sacrum and lumbar vertebrae. And next muscles are considered as abdominal muscles anteriorly. Then posterior abdominal wall muscles are quadratus lumborum. So again, there are so many other muscles are there, back muscles. So they are concerned with the movement of the back. Then they are nowhere related with the abdominal cavity. Remember, so this is what the muscular boundary of the abdominal part. Not only this much, abdominal cavity is divided into pelvic cavity and proper abdomen. Okay, pelvic cavity means what here? Already, if you have gone through that pelvis, you can see the some organs which are located in the true pelvis. Again, pelvis is divided into true pelvis and false pelvis. That is, ilium is the false pelvis, and that small rounded portion is called as true pelvis. Within that true pelvis, in male, you will getting in males that you will be getting the urinary bladder and rectum in the rectum and anal canal in the true pelvis. But in female, there is a one more extra organ, that is the uterus and fallopian tube and ovaries are present between urinary bladder and the rectum. So these are a few important organs, and usually such organs are called as pelvic organs. Pelvic organs. This is the division of abdominal cavity. That is, one is proper abdomen and another one is the pelvic cavity. So by seeing the pelvis on other side means it is supported by pelvic diaphragm. Already we have come across the word diaphragm, which mainly separates the abdomen and thoracic part, that is the upper portion. In the same way, there is a one more muscle called as levi-Reine muscles, which basically forms the floor of the pelvic cavity. That floor supports the urinary bladder, then uterus and vagina, and posteriorly the rectum and anal canal. How it supports means in terms of fascial connection. There are a number of fascias which are attached to the side of the pelvic wall, and later they attach to the organ. So in that sense, they supports the organ. Next, if you see the outside the pelvis, outer portion, outer segment of the pelvis is called as perineum. Is called as what? Perineum. That in generally the definition of perineum or the location of perineum is the area which is present between the two thigh is called as perineum. So perineum, whether one more name is the pudendum, is also one more name for the perineum. Or in general, we should remember like this: where the external genital organs are present, that whole area is considered as perineum. Is it clear? Now, how many areas we have discussed? Please just name the areas or the division of abdominal cavity. Anyone?
Proper
Anyone?
abdomen and
Hello? Reply it fast. How that we have divided the abdominal cavity? Once again, I'll repeat. The abdominal cavity is divided into proper abdomen and true pelvis. Just say everyone. Abdominal cavity is divided into what? Now everyone must say something. Student must reply properly.
True pelvis.
What is the division of abdominal cavity?
Proper abdomen and true pelvis.
Proper abdomen and true pelvis. Very good. Next, outer portion of the pelvic cavity, outer portion of the pelvis, that area present between two thighs. What it is called?
perineum.
Okay, the one more name for perineum. One more name for perineum is also called as pudendum. Is also called as what? Pudendum.
Pudendum.
Okay. So anything, any artery, any nerve which is supplying the perineum is commonly called as pudendal. Pudendal artery, pudendal vein, pudendal nerve. This is pudendum. This is what common term. They are using common term because of what? Those particular blood vessels and now supplying the perineum. Perineum का आप लोगों को easy से याद रखने के लिए it is very easy to remember that where external genital organs are present. Okay, even including the anal opening. Now, as these are three important area anatomical division, like one is proper abdomen, another one is true pelvis, and another one is the perineum. In the same way, the three marmas which are locating at a three different level. So Guda marma, it is located at in the perineum, that is the pudendum. Okay, again, we're already told the definition meaning of the perineum, how to understand the perineum. Then the one more marma, that is called as basti, that we consider as urinary bladder, where it is placed in the pelvic cavity, and one more is the nabi marma, where it is present in the abdominal part, proper abdomen. So anatomically we have three division, and even the marma concept says that each division has got one marma. Is it clear, students? Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
now I will just tell the area of the area, anatomical area, then you should tell the marma name. Okay, ready? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Marma which is present in the perineum is called as.
Gudamarma.
Very good.
Marma.
Marma which is present in the pelvic cavity.
Vastimarma.
Basti.
Basti marma. So basti is considered as urinary bladder. Next, the marma which is present at the level of proper abdomen.
Nabi.
Nabi marma.
Nabi.
So is it clear, students? Now we are discussing about only three marma. One is nabi, and another one is the basti marma, and another one is the guda marma. And why that anatomical landmark they have made very important. Only three marmas are important. And if you see the location, there is a three division. If you see the marmas over the chest, there are 9 marmas they have told. So many important area that covered by marma over the chest, because the chest is very important part, because of what, the heart and lungs, respiratory systems over present. But here, when it comes to the abdominal part, the most of the organs are related with the digestive system. Okay, so not only the digestive system, if you go back on the posterior side, there you will get the urinary system organs are also present, and reproductive organs are also present. Okay. Next, coming back to the three area is clear. Mindset, this three division of anatomical division is clear. Now you must
Yes,
say yes
sir.
or no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Three marmas, the concept of three marma area in this abdomen is clear or what?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, just now we have discussed the bones of the abdomen, then muscles of the abdomen. Then next we will discuss about the organs. So organs in brief, I will highlight all digestive system organs, like including the lower end of the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and last part of the large intestine is called as what? Last part of the large intestine is called as what? Student. Whether it is called as brain or whether it is called as a heart.
Rectum.
Okay, rectum. Next to rectum, last structure of the digestive system.
Anus.
What is that? Anus. Very good.
Anal.
Very good. See the sequence here. Large intestine ends up with the rectum. Then further it continues as the anal canal. Remember this word anal canal. Later I will discuss with this anal canal like Guda marma. Okay. Now these are the organs present in the abdomen. Next, coming back to the urinary system organs. Urinary system organs including kidney, ureter, and urinary bladder. Urinary bladder. Then from the urinary bladder, the urethra. Urethra continues as the what? This is what the sequence. Okay. And next to that, the few major portion of the right portion of the abdominal cavity is covered by a very important organ, that is the liver. In the same way, on the left side, it is nothing but the spleen. So okay, so the major portion, and then at the center it is in the epigastric region, it is nothing but the stomach. So spleen, liver, and kidneys are very important. Why they are important here? So any damage to these organs, like the liver damage, kidney damage, kidney on the back side. It is not easily on the front side. It is easily damaged on the through the back side, and any damage to the spleen are very dangerous because these organs need a more blood supply. So once if there is damage to such organs, then you will see the heavy amount of bleeding. So that usually that cavity occupies the what? Blood. So whole abdomen is the cavity now. Okay, is it clear now? These are the organs present over the abdominal cavity. Even pancreas is also there, suprarenal glands, and so many organs are present in the abdominal cavities. Okay, is it clear? Organs are clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then again, pelvic organs, I'll repeat. Pelvic organs are rectum. Remember, in female, it is the uterus and some portion of the vagina and fallopian tube and the ovary. Then this urinary bladder is present. Okay. These are the pelvic organs. And next to that, if you see the blood vessels, the major blood vessels, like when the aorta, thoracic aorta passes through the diaphragm and it continues as the abdominal aorta, and at the level of umbilicus or below the umbilicus, it divides into common this iliac arteries. Okay, common iliac artery, and later common iliac artery divides into external iliac artery and internal iliac artery. External iliac artery supplies the lower limb and internal iliac artery supplies the pelvic organs. See, I'm not talking about any here the course and other things, just to give just some important organs or the blood vessels, how and where that the damage if takes place, then what happened, that imagination should be there. So again, coming back to the vessels, then we'll have the inferior vena cava and its tributaries. This is also very important part because all the venous drainage received from the different sources including the lower limb and other part, it is carried through the inferior vena cava, and inferior vena cava later it passes through the liver, then immediately it ends up in the right atrium. And this inferior vena cava is very important because whatever the blood is there from the lower segment of the body, it is sucked back into the thoracic part, that is into the right atrium, to the this thoracic, there is a respiratory pump through the what here, respiratory pump. So any damage over the inferior vena cava or any the blood vessels like the abdominal aorta and their branches, there are so number of branches like celiac branches, superior mesenteric artery, inferior mesenteric artery, like that number of branches may damage either if they are deeply placed. So deep injuries may damage to these structures. Is it clear? Okay, next coming back to the portal circulation. Portal circulation is also it is connected between the small intestine, large intestine, and the liver. I'm not talking about much about the portal circulation because again I have to discuss the marma concept here. So next is the coverings of the abdomen. Coverings means what here? Especially the peritoneal covering. Remember, any type of injury to the peritoneum is most danger, and it is acute condition, and immediately that patient must shifted to the hospital. Okay, now already in the theory class or even the practical class, some portions have been dissected, that already you know something about peritoneum. The peritoneum is the thing, but is the membrane covering the abdominal cavity, having the same the parietal and visceral, and according to the its attachment to the organs, the names are going to change. Suppose the peritoneum, if it is attached to the this stomach, then it is called as a omentum. Then it is attached to the, if it is attached to the small intestine, then it is called as a mesentery. Then if it is attached to the large intestine, it is called as a mesocolon. So this is about the brief part about the abdominal cavity. So why we should know about the basic point here? Because only we are dealing with the 3 marmas. Then landmark is very much clear. One marma is concerned with the perineum. That means any perineal injuries are very close to the any external genital organ injuries or any injury close to the anus part. Okay, that may leads to the sadhya marana, like that they have given the references. Then pelvis here, pelvic organ injuries. That means all they need a very deep, the depth of the injury must be very severe, then only they can damage or accidental injuries, then stab injuries, then such injuries can damage the deeper organs or deeper structures. Okay, not the blunt injuries. Blunt injuries are also there, but they are not much severe. Sharp injuries usually gives rise to cut off the structures here. Blunt injuries are usually damages of the internal structures. Okay, coming back to the again abdominal part. These are the a very important part. Now we'll discuss about the Gudamarma. So anyone please, by seeing the reference, I think is the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Student must
Yes, sir.
reply. Screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just follow the shloka. Tatra vatavarcho nirasanam sthulantra pratibaddaha gudanamam marma. Gudanama marma. Then if any injury to this marma, that is sadhyo marana, they have given the what here? Sadhyo marana. How you are going to define if the option is given to you? If the option is given to you, define anal part. Just by seeing the reference, anyone can tell the definition of marma, guda marma. What is how we should understand this is called as guda marma? Is there any specification? Is there specification of guda marma? So and so specific points are there. So we should consider this is as the guda marma. Please read the shloka, try to understand, or if not given, please read that the English explanation above there and try to read it and tell me now. You have to tell the answer.
Passage of Vata.
Okay, क्या होता है? It's the passage of
Vata.
Vata. Vata means what? What we should consider at this present point? What we should
Stool.
consider?
Stool.
Flatus.
Flatus. Very good. So in which junction of the body where we can pass the gas? In general, we consider as what? Gas or the flatus. और जिस जगह से हम ये करते हैं, that is virtue means what? Stool passing. Stool. टॉयलेट करते ना, टॉयलेट करते क्या नहीं? सभी लोग करते क्या नहीं रे? That is what? Where, in which part of the body where you can pass the flatus, where you can pass the stool, and it is attached to the sthulantra. What do you mean by sthulantra? What do you mean by sthulantra?
Large intestine.
Large intestine. You must say something. So whenever the question is asked by teacher, you must reply it properly. Sthulantra is also large intestine. Brahadantra is also large intestine. Lagwantra is we consider it as small intestine. But here the word they have used the sthulantra, that is the large intestine, and it is attached to the large intestine. Such part is considered as guda nama marma. Now anyone please, now you should reply it properly. Now what is vata means flatus, varcho means stool, nirasana means passing. ये दोनों कहाँ से जाता है, वहां उस प्लेस को हम गुद बोलते हैं. And it is attached to the, and it is the last part of the sthulantra. It is attached to the large intestine. That's what I have told. If you see the parts of the large intestine, it begins with the cecum, then ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon, then the wider portion we call it as the rectum, then there is a small canal, that is the tunnel shape, and that tunnel or the canal we consider as anal canal. Is it clear now?
Yes,
Is there
sir.
any difference between, is there any difference between modern location of the rectum, the anal part, and Ayurvedic marma? Is there any difference? Whether you want to tell, you want to add anything to the present shloka? See, the one thing I want to tell to all the students, if you are not involving properly, it is very difficult for us because we are not seeing your faces and you all are not seeing the teachers' faces. It is what something we are talking in the air. You must say something, then we'll go forward. If not,
Yes, sir.
Then we'll stop here
Yes, sir.
only. So now if you give your opinion, see, if you study in this sense, then only will you are able to understand Ayurvedic concepts. See, Ayurvedic concepts are very simple and easily you can understand, but the depth of the knowledge must be there. That means what? If the modern concept, you must know about the first modern concept, then you can understand the Ayurvedic concepts. So why, already I told, why the three division of abdomen? One is a proper abdomen, pelvis and perineum. So that we have all, in all the locations we have marmas. Now I am talking about the marma which is there in the perineum. That is the, again perineum is divided into urogenital diaphragm and anal triangle. Okay, I'm not going detail about that part. Again, the perineum is divided into what here? The urogenital triangle. Urogenital means what? Where the penis and vaginas are going to present. And anal triangle means where your anus is present. Now, I'm discussing about anal triangle where the Guda Marma is present. Is it clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what Ayurvedic concept says? Ayurvedic concept says where you can pass the flat test. Very simple. इसमें क्या बहुत बड़ा knowledge है क्या? इसमें बहुत बड़ा क्या in depth knowledge है क्या? नहीं. जहाँ जिस जगह से हम gas pass करते हैं every day morning, we used to go what? Everyone, even teacher and students also, they go first. They go to what? Toilet. And every morning with the left hand we are going to clean the that particular part. See, this is what normal routine. It is not that big thing. Even our prime minister is taking very much care about the concern topic, that is the toilet. So everyone should build their own toilet. So toilet ko bahar nahi jana. See, I'm not talking about that, but I am discussing about the Buddha Marma. Why I am comparing these two things means it's very simple. जिस जगह से गैस पास होता है, जिस जगह से टॉयलेट करते हैं, that is stool pass करते हैं, and that is the Guda Marma. Then anatomically speaking, see, you can see, just follow the PPT over there in the screen, on the screen. You can see the anal part, anal canal they have given. Okay. Now, why the anal canal? If there is injury to the this Guda Marma leading to the what here? Sadhya Marma means, because see this diagram they're showing the anal triangle. Are you getting that? Are you getting the
Yes, sir.
PPT slide there, or?
Yes, sir.
Now that blue color is the anal triangle. That green color is the urogenital triangle. Okay. So this is what anatomical landmark. So I am just brief about the anal canal. Anal canal is the junction where the end of ectodermal origin. Ectodermal means what? Outer segment. That is the skin is also covered by the anal part outside, and it is also having the hairs. And just if you go inside the interior portion of the anal canal, then there it continues as the endodermal. That means it is a junction of ecto and endodermal junction. Is it clear? And it is the embryological importance of anal canal. So why that we have the mucous membrane inside? Because it is the endodermal origin, and we have the skin. It is a blackish, and the transverse ridges are present along with the hair, and it is because of that it is the ectodermal origin. So not only this much, if you see the around the anal canal, you will be getting the huge, very huge amount of venous plexus. Very huge amount of what? Venous plexus. So such venous plexus are very important. So you commonly heard about the diseases of the anal canal. That is the arsha. In Ayurveda it is called as arsha. That is the hemorrhoids. Piles, commonly it is called as a what? Piles, fistula, fissure. These three things are very common at this junction. So which are these three are common? Piles होता है कैसे? Hemorrhoids. They are very much painful, and fissure, like then fistula. There are different signs and symptoms will be there. I'm not talking about that, but injury at this junction may lead to what? Severe blood loss. Because why the blood loss here? Because just that mucous membrane of the anus part, just behind that, just next to that is the submucous membrane, and submucous venous plexus are very huge over at this junction. So there you can see the bleeding of those veins that leads to the blood loss, and patient may die if it is not treated. See, perineal injury is very difficult, but once if it is injury, that must be a depth of the injury is very severe and very danger. Okay, usually seen during the accidental injuries, not common injuries. Or somebody sits over some hot things, then only there may be some burn and other things. But any sharp injuries, stab injuries may damage to the Guda Marma. Is it clear, students? Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes or no? If it is a yes, then I will continue.
Yes, sir.
Guda Marma is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, anyone please define the location of Guda Marma fast. Now, sir, I have to move to the next Marma. Where is the location of Guda Marma?
वातवर्चो निवारणम.
Nirasanam. See, if you are not able to read, at least tell me the meaning of that.
So the area from where stool and
where
the gas
the-
passes.
Okay. The place where we can pass the flattest stool and it is attached to the stoolantara. Remember these 3 points. It is called as Guda Marma. Sadhya Pranahara Marma. Now we are discussing about a very important Marma is called as Basti Marma. Basti here, already this word is very famous in concern with the Ayurvedic treatment. What is that Ayurvedic treatment? Basti Chikitsa is there, no? Is there or what? Is there or yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Basti Chikitsa is there?
Yes, sir.
It is for what?
Yes.
It is for whether it is for Pitta, Kapha or Vata.
Water.
Vata.
Vata.
Vata, Vata disease. Okay. Vamana is for which dosha?
Kapha.
Very good. Virechana?
Or Pitta.
Virechana which dosha?
Pitta, sir.
Vata.
Very good. Okay. Now I'm not talking about that Basti here. Basti anatomically we consider it as okay. So where is the location of urinary bladder in general? It is located in the pelvic cavity. It is located in the true pelvis. In the same way, in Ayurvedic references also, they have given the same explanation. It is formed by, it is whether it is a muscular organ, it is a hollow organ or not. Yes or no, students? It is hollow organ, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is a hollow organ. So the hollow organs usually outside, they are basically formed by the muscle layer. Is it clear? For example, stomach is the hollow organ where it is surrounded by muscles. Even intestine inside we have the lumen, but outside it is a muscular. That means, so wherever we have the lumen cavity inside or the hollow organs outside, basically, naturally or normally, they are formed by muscular tissue. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
here in the same way, if you go through this shloka there, it is formed by Alpa Mamsa and Alpa Shonita. Alpa Mamsa means it is the muscular organ and it is also with the help of Alpa Shonita, it is basically formed by Mamsa and Shonita. Abhyantarataha. Abhyantarataha means placed deeply or inside. Katyam. Katyam means what here? Kati Pradesha. Kati is the pelvic area. Remember, Kati means what here? Pelvic area. Katyam. And it is called as Mutra Ashaya. Ashaya means what? And it is Mutra Ashaya. There are two words, Mutra and Ashaya. Mutra Ashaya is called as Basti. Uska naam hota hai Basti. If any injury to this junction or this organ, okay, again, there are, if anything, any injury at this junction or urinary bladder, urine may come out from the urinary bladder and may go into the abdominal cavity and it may reach to the thigh. Is it clear? So there are some facial connection between lower part of the abdomen or the true pelvis and the upper segment of the thigh. So that only possible when you dissect that part, then only you can understand. But in general, what I'm saying, what I'm telling is, it is the connection between the pelvic cavity and the abdominal part. There are two things happens. Two things means either the person may die according to the Marma concept. Then if not, the urine may pass into the lower part of the abdomen and it may reach to the thigh. Okay. So what they have given, there is the Ashmari Vrana. Ashmari is again the small, the stones like that. If not, There are some exceptions. If not, the mutra srava, they have given the word mutra srava to, like that it spreads the mutra which is present in the mutrasha, it spreads all over the that related parts. So once again I'll repeat, it is basically made up of alpa, mausa and shonita and placed abhyantarataha. Abhyantarata means placed deeply or interiorly. Where is the place? Katyam. Katyam. Then what is the word they have used? That is the mutrashaya. What the word mutra? What is the, you already, I think you do, you heard about this word concept ashaya. Anyone please explain the definition of ashaya? So that already Ayurvedic concepts we have added in this month. So I think Kala Sharira Ashaya has completed. Anyone please define Ashaya? Okay, very good. Nobody? No one? Very nice.
Sir,
Say
Ashaya
yes
is
or no. Say yes or no. I will tell yes or no. If not, I will tell. Please let me know it fast.
No, sir.
Okay. Ashaya is very simple, madam. आपका घर है ना? घर is there. Everyone that you have your own house.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? Oh, okay. That
Yes,
is
sir.
your ashaya. That is the place where you can stay. What it is called as in Ayurveda? It is ashaya. Where in our body, mutra can stay for some period. And that portion, that segment is called as ashaya. That is mutrashaya. Where, if it is a blood in our body, where blood can stay for some time, that is called as raktashaya. It may be blood vessel, it may be the liver, it may be the spleen, anything. Okay, it is very simple. Where you are going to stay for some duration, sometimes, and such locations are considered as ashaya, amashaya. Ama means what we food we eat, that is going to stay in the stomach for few hours. So that is amashaya. Pakwashaya. Ashaya pakwa means what? That remaining digested food reach to the next part and where it is going to stay for some time, and it's called as pakwashaya. Vatashaya. Vatastanas are considered as vatashaya, pittashaya, kapashaya. Then what is garbhashaya? Where garbha is going to locate. What is, it's a place for garbha where it gives a shelter, where it gives the, not only the shelter, it also supports. Not only the shelter here, it's also support. Such structures are considered as ashaya. Is it clear now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Is it clear
sir.
or what?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
if in your body or our body, anything, a place where urine can store, what it is called?
Mutrashaya.
Very good. It's very simple. Is it clear? So, any injury to mutrashaya, what happened? Sadhyo marana. Sadhyo marana.
Marana.
Then, if not, see here the very injury is very important. If not, the urine may come out from the urinary bladder, may spread over the other part of the abdominal cavity. This is the explanation of that quotation. Okay. If not, there is an exception where Ashmari Rana. There is an exception in the what? Ashmari Rana. Is it clear? Is it clear, students?
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Once again, I'll ask one simple question. Anything which is food content which is staying in your body, what it is called?
Amashay.
Amashay.
Very good.
Amashay.
Very good. Vatasthana, you know about Vatasthana? Tatrashaya, Pakwashaya, this Tatra Pakwashaya Katisakti, you shloka, that shloka, do you know?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That is
sir.
nothing but the Vatasthana. Vatashaya. Anyone please, if you know the shloka, please let me know it. Shloka. Pakwashaya Katisakti Shvotasti Sparshanendriyam. Tatra Pakwashaya Vatasthana, like that, it is the Vatasthana. Okay, Pitta means the middle of the body. Middle of the body means usually Nabhi and Amashaya. That portion is the Pittashaya. Above that, Kapashaya. So, Ashaya concept is very simple. Try to understand. It is not only the shelter, it also supports the particular structures. Mutra means here, Mutrashaya means what here? It gives what? Shelter, supports. It gives the place for the storing the mutra, and not only storing, it also supports the physiology also. Physiology means what? The once the urine is formed, it is not sent immediately to the urinary bladder, and it is from the urinary bladder, it is not sent directly to the outside. That means some time, some duration, they must stay in our body. When they stay in our body, that time they are responsible for normal physiology. Please remember this. See, अगर आप लोगों का पानी पीता है, immediately urine करके बाहर आता है क्या? Suppose now if you drink one glass of water, immediately it will come out?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. There are so many physiological process takes place, and finally it is stored. So when that storage is there, that time that has to maintain the normal physiology. This is what the concept of Mala in Ayurveda. Please remember, what is the concept of Mala in Ayurveda? Even the stool, fecal material, if it is formed, if it is a form and it is not directly sent out. Okay, if it is sent out means every moment, every minute we have to go to what? For toilet. एक मिनट के बाद टॉयलेट जाना पड़ता था. It is not like that. So it has to stay in our body for some physiological functions. Then after physiological functions over, then body will give signal. Now everything is over. Next you should go out. This is a tough Mala in Marma. Mala in Ayurvedic concepts. Is it clear now? Basti is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Basti is
sir.
clear or what? Okay. Now I am moving to the one more important marma, that is the Nabi marma.
Nabi.
Now just see the follow through this PPT. So there you can see the layers. Here the detrusor muscle is there, and again adventitia layer, that is the external layer. And why Sadhya Marana means just below the urinary bladder in male, you will have very important organ, that is the prostate gland. Even the prostate and urinary bladder also having the what? Outer portion, they are surrounded by huge number of vesical venous plexus. Vesical venous plexus. If you see the diagram in your somewhere, you write it, you put it, vesical venous plexus. There is a huge venous plexus that may damage to the venous plexus, veins also, and urinary bladder also. Now, see, this is the pelvic organs. In male, it is the urinary bladder, prostate gland, then posteriorly rectum and anal canal. And in female, you will have the urinary bladder, some portion is the vagina, and upper portion of the vagina is the uterus, and behind, posterior to that, is the rectum and anal canal. Okay, this is about the pelvic organs. Next, coming back to the Nabi Marma. Anyone please read out the location of Nabi Marma. I will end up with this Nabi Marma. Okay, what is Nabi Marma here? Anyone, do you know about the umbilical cord? Anyone reply yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Umbilical cord में क्या रहता है? umbilical cord में umbilical artery and umbilical vein रहता है. Is it clear? इसमें
Yes,
सोचने
sir.
की क्या बात है? What is there in the umbilical cord? Basically, we have umbilical arteries and umbilical vein. तो umbilical artery रहता है, एक umbilical vein रहता है. इसमें है क्या नहीं? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir,
Yes,
if
sir.
that umbilical cord is attached to fetus, and that junction is called as what? Where your umbilical cord is attached to the fetus, and that attachment junction is called as what? Modern में क्या बोलते हैं उसको?
Placenta.
नहीं मैडम, listen properly. Umbilical cord वो fetus को attach हो गया है. It is attached to the fetus, and that attachment area is called as what?
Navel.
Umbilicus. इसमें
Umbilicus.
ये बहुत शायद आप लोग ज्यादा पढ़ रहे हैं. Is it clear? आप लोग ज्यादा पढ़ रहे हैं या नहीं पढ़ रहे? हाँ? What you are doing there? Whether you are reading too much or nothing? What you are doing there? Are you studying there or what? Reply it fast. Yes or no? Shall we end up or what? Whether I complete the Nabi Marma? What should I do?
Complete, sir.
Complete. Okay. Nabi means what? Okay, I'll finish up this part. Nabi means already that if you just follow the umbilical cord and when the umbilical cord attached to the fetus, that junction is the umbilicus. Same way, just refer the shloka. Pakwa amashayor madhya. कहाँ रहता है? It is present between amashaya and pakwashaya.
Pakwa.
And sira prabhavah nabi. Sira means what here? We should consider as blood vessels. Okay, sira means again it is the veins. Sira prabhava nabi, where it is attached to the that junction. Okay, this quotation exactly suits when the during the fetal life. Why during the fetal life? Because the umbilical cord where it is having the blood vessels and the arteries and veins and attached to the that junction, and that particular place is called as umbilicus or nabi. Once after delivery, once after birth, so we are going to cut the umbilical cord, and finally in the normal in human body it is having some depth, it is having some deep fissure type, it is having somewhat some depth, and that depth or that depressed area is called as umbilicus. But basically embryologically again there are some changes after birth. So umbilical vein converted into the ligamentum teres of the liver. I think you heard about this word, ligamentum teres. The ligaments of the liver very so important because later it converts into what? Ligamentum teres. Here I'll repeat once again. P is present between amashaya. By seeing the abdominal quadrant, anyone please locate the stomach. In which quadrant abdomen is present? Sorry, stomach is present. Anyone? You must reply it fast. In which quadrant stomach is present?
Epigastric.
Epigastric. Is it clear? Is it
नहीं
clear? Epigastric region में stomach रहता है.
लेफ्ट
Is it
हाइपोकॉन्ड्रियम
clear or what?
Left hypochondrium.
Hypochondrium.
Stomach is present in the epigastric region. Is it clear? Is it yes or no?
No.
ये correct है क्या नहीं?
No, sir.
No, sir.
नहीं नहीं मैं
Left
क्या पूछ रहा हूँ?
hypochondrium.
No, madam. Left hypochondric region. The most of the stomach is present below the epigastric region. It comes under the epigastric region. Okay. Anyhow, some portion it is related with the left hypochondric region. See, if you see the liver, most of the liver, 90% of the liver is right hypochondric, but it may extend into the epigastrium, and lastly, the left end is going to end in the left hypochondric region. Anyhow, I'm not talking about that. Just imagine epigastric region, and below the epigastric region, which area it is there, abdominal quadrant. I am giving a hint. In that hint, the word umbilicus is there. We have the right hypochondric region, epigastric region, and left hypochondric region. Right lumbar, umbilicus, left lumbar. Right iliac fossa, epigastrium, and left iliac fossa. Is it clear now? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Are
Yes,
you
sir.
getting? Where is the nabi marma? Nabi is nothing but umbilicus. Nabi is nothing but the umbilicus. It is present between. It is present between the amashaya. That is above we have the epigastric region, and below we have the hypogastric region. Hypogastric is nothing but the what? Pakwashaya. That is we should consider it as in between epigastric region and hypogastric region. जो part center में होता है, the part which is there in the center, or having some deeply pressed deep area, that deep area we consider as nabi. But during the fetal life it is attached to the umbilical artery and vein, and that's what they have given sira prabhavah nabi. Okay, that is if even after birth there are remnant of the umbilical artery and umbilical veins are also present, and they are attached to the what? Umbilicus. Umbilical importance of the umbilicus. I think watershed line. You heard about this word watershed line? What do you mean by
Yes, sir.
watershed line? Okay, watershed line above the umbilicus. The most of the
Abdomen.
drainage. Okay, very good, very good. Most of the drainage will reach the upper segment, and lower segment will go back into the inguinal region. Upper segment will go back into the axillary region, and below the umbilicus, it will go back into the inguinal region. Is it clear? So that line is considered as a watershed line. That is a basic line of the umbilicus. Why that umbilicus is important? Even if you see the any problem with the pressure in the portal circulation, any problem with the portal hypertension, so most of the veins are dilated over the abdomen. Most of the veins are, again I'll repeat, most of the veins are dilated over the abdomen, and which are attached, it looks like what it is, they are attached to the umbilicus, which are attached to the what? Umbilicus. So such arrangements are called as caput medusae. You heard about this word? Caput medusae means what? This is not in normally, these are not visible, the veins are not visible over the abdomen during some pathological conditions where portal hypertension is there. During such portal hypertensions, there is a collateral circulation. There will be a collateral circulation. So during such collateral circulations, the superficial veins of the abdomen enlarges. The superficial veins of the abdomen enlarges, and they are easily seen over the abdomen, and it looks like what? All the veins are attached to the umbilicus. And such such presentations are called as caput medusae. See, collateral circulation present between the superior, this is inferior vena cava, and between the superior vena cava. It is again collateral circulation passes through the azygous and hemiazygous venous system. I'm not talking about all those things, but here the word what I mean to tell is the nabi which is present between pakvashaya. You should understand in that sense, pakva amashayor madhye sira pravava attached to the blood vessels, and any injury to this junction that leads to the sadhyo pranahara marma, death of the person. Why death? Here not only damages the blood vessels, simultaneously damages the abdominal cavity, because this marma belongs to the proper abdomen. Basti marma belongs to the pelvis. Guda marma belongs to the perineum. So here at this junction, it is the proper abdomen. In the proper abdomen, we have very important membrane, that is the peritoneum. The most of the peritoneal injuries, remember, most of the peritoneal injuries are very danger, severe and acute, and patient may die immediately. Okay, so with this, so I will end up my class, today's class, that is the marmas over the abdomen, and this diagram is just showing the connection outside the umbilical cord and how the veins and arteries going inside the fetus. So this presentation is only present in the fetal circulation or the fetal attachment, but once after birth we are going to cut the umbilical cord. Only the remnants are going to present in the abdominal part, and those remnants, and along with that, the veins, superficial veins, are also connected with the umbilical veins. Okay. Now this diagram is just showing the layers of the abdomen outside the skin, and at the center you can see the umbilicus and peritoneum, parietal peritoneum, and injuries over such organs or such structures may lead to the death of the person. So this is about the marmas of the abdomen. Any doubt or any queries? Now student must reply yes or no, or otherwise I will end up my class. Any questions?
Sir,
Sir,
if murmur is asked, then what all points should be written?
What madam? I'm not getting loud. Say loudly. Marma.
Sir, murmur is asked in exam, then what all points should be written? Like
Okay.
structure.
Okay, madam. Just follow the this screen. Just follow the screen. I will. I have given as an example here. Okay. This is what now you're getting the screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the example what you should write when it is asked in during the examinations. Okay. Now name of the marma, Hridaya marma. Is it clear? You are following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then
Yes,
you must write its location, where it is located. Stanayor madhya adhisthana amashaya. Then whether it belongs to the sira marma, mausa marma, that you should write. Then according to the location, it is urahagata marma. Then according to parinama, it is sadhyo pranahara marma. Then it's with the lakshanas. Right? What happened? There is a with the lakshana means what here? any deformity over that like that you should write. Then modern thing you should write. Which are the structures present over that particular region of that part? Suppose, see, heart location they have given there, you should write heart is present, and there also it is also covered by peritoneum. The deeper anatomical structures you should write. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, first thing, name of the marma, whether it is single marma or double marma, you should write, because most of the marmas are on both sides of the midline, usually 2 in number. The marmas which are present at the center of the body, they are usually single. Like Basti marma is a single, Navi is a single marma, and Guda is also one marma, and Hruday is also one marma. That remaining marmas are on the both side of the midline, so usually they are 2 in number. Okay, on that sense you should write. Okay, next, this classification you should remember. That is according to Parinama, according to the location, whether it is Shakagata marma like that, on that sense. Then effect of injury. Location is very important. In the first year BMS, we are more concerned about location of the marmas. Okay. Then with the Lakshana, in general, you can write it, no problem. Or then the structure, anatomical structures, because already we have dissected the body, that you know already. Suppose if you dissect the hand, you are going to get the median nerve. So you should write the median nerve. Suppose if you dissect the thoracic part, you will get such so and so organs. The deeper structures must be written. Okay, is it clear now? Is it clear?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now regarding Viva, the Smith sir will inform you regarding the how you should go into the website and how and the process, the method that will be dealt by Sumit sir. Okay, is it clear? Regarding, I am telling about
Yes.
regarding Viva. Is there any problem with the theory? Regarding the technical problem regarding the entry to the exam section, exam net like that. Any problem? If any problem is there, let me know it. Please put that into your 2019 group. Okay, so that we can understand wherever we have the problems. Okay, don't put here and there and some other groups. We are getting confusion. There are a number of groups over there. So if you want anything, put anything related to the exam cell concerned or in that 2019 official group. Is it clear? Take care.
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Take care. Be safe. Bye.
Clear.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Now class is over. Thank you. You can move now. Can leave this class. Thank you.